It's been quite a wait, but the drama of the WRC Esports World Finals returns. From an entry list of over 15,000, 6 of our top finalists from the championship season are here in the historic town of Ypres, using identical Fanatec rigs to battle it out for the title of World Champion, with the added prize of a GR Yaris, thanks to Toyota Gazoo Racing. 8 qualifying stages throughout the day have kept our competitors busy. For some, the switch from bedroom to arena will be daunting. For others, the experience will shine through. And for all, it will be another memorable and intense battle on the stages. From the 6 invited finalists, an intense day of rallying has eliminated 2 to leave us with 4 finalists for tonight. Some familiar faces, some new, all wanting to get their hands on the precious trophies. So let's meet our competitors tonight with your host, Ben Constanduros.
Thank you very much, Bex. Alongside Bex this evening in the commentary position, René Boutler, as always, welcome along to the 5th anniversary WRC World Finals on site in an arena here in Ypres. What an amazing place to be invited to watch the WRC and also to compete for this incredible GR Yaris, thanks to Toyota Gazoo Racing. So, our very first finalist then, a brand new boy to the WRC World Finals, Sammy Joe. Here is Sammy. A couple of years ago, not even old enough to hold a steering wheel, and now with us, 15 years of age, your first final. How are you feeling?
Yeah, looking forward to it before that qualifying event, and yeah, we'll see. Let's keep the momentum going, and we'll see what happens.
Incredible. Make yourself comfortable in your Fanatec rig. Sammy Joe, just 15 years of age, his first experience of an arena setting like this, sitting alongside his competitors. And he's sitting beside a 2-time world champion. Our next competitor is Nexel. Nexel, you've been here before, you've won titles before. How are you feeling going into this one?
Yeah, really happy to be here. Really confident, of course, to catch another title. That's my objective, so I will do anything to realize that.
Great stuff. Make yourself comfortable in your Fanatec rig with a play seat. And our third finalist is a new man to us here at WRC Esports, but someone with plenty of experience. Eliza Musing. John, how are we feeling this evening?
Amazing, really. It's a great experience, my first final of a competition. I mean, how can you be unhappy about that? The venue is amazing, the people here are amazing, it's just surreal, and I'm struggling to take it all in, to be honest.
Awesome. Head yourself over to your rig, experience on other platforms, but the first time he managed to qualify on WRC 9. And our final finalist is also a man we are familiar with on WRC finals. It is, of course, Noel, and you've been here before, waving that French flag. Is this your year?
I will try. I hope it's my year. Last time I finished 4th. Now I'm 4th in the qualification. So once again, I have nothing to lose, and I will try my best to do the best result possible.
Great. Head yourself over to your rig. Get yourselves comfortable. You've got the heel tread socks to use. They'll take their shoes off. They'll make sure those play seats are absolutely optimized for them. And then we can get ourselves ready for the first stage with René Boutler and Bex Williams.
Thank you very much, Ben. Well, you know, we have an incredible atmosphere here this evening. We have our finalists, myself and René, ready, of course, to commentate on what is 3 stages of competition. We are heading to Portugal, to Japan, to New Zealand, to compete on some classic stages for our drivers. Fans of the WRC will know two of those stages pretty well. Rene, it's going to be an exciting final, but it's going to be tense. We've done many of these together over the years, and we know how close competition can be out there.
It is a special one. We got two new drivers, two experienced ones already. They had already 8 stages today, so they're maybe exhausted already, but they're here to win. And seeing the semi-finals, this will be a big, big showdown. I can't wait to kick this one off.
It is going to be an incredible final that we see across 3 stages. We are going to start with Portugal, of course. Talk to me a little bit, though, briefly about the day that we've had here, because we've had the qualifying sessions where we've whittled down to 4 competitors at the end of it. How tense did it all get earlier on?
It was definitely crazy and sometimes heartbreaking. We saw Sammy Joe, after winning 12 out of 13 online rallies before coming here for the grand final, dominating that. He had in between 15 seconds of an advantage, but then he crashed on the high-speed rally of Germany, the ADAC rally, and that threw him kind of back. He still is leading coming into the grand final. Obviously, all of that pushed to the side now, it doesn't matter, but it gave a first signal to obviously Nexel, who's a 2-time champion already. So it is experience versus the new shooting star, basically.
It really is. And to be here as well, I think it is a little bit daunting for our competitors. They're sitting there, they're on their Fanatec rigs right now, they are getting ready, they're prepping themselves, they're priming themselves in their minds, thinking ahead to the stages that lie ahead. So we are going to start to take a look at what we've got coming up. And first of all, we head to the classic rally of Portugal. It's going to be a gravel stage that our drivers attempt first and foremost. We have 2 gravel stages today, in fact, one in New Zealand and a tarmac stage in Japan. But let's take a look at what we've got then as our first stage at the grand final. As I said, we head to Portugal, 8.4 kilometers in length, 100% gravel out there. Time of day, it's going to be evening time, and the weather is nice and clear for our drivers. So, Rene, is it time to start to get underway here and kickstart our grand final here for Esports WRC 2020?
Yeah, finally we get into the 5-year anniversary show, right? We get another big grand final. And as you said, it's a gravel rally we're starting with. And luckily, this time we actually get some proper clear air, I would say, because we had a lot of storm, a lot of rain today already, but they're off the line into the first rally, and it seems like Nexel didn't really have the kickstart he normally does, because he's currently only in 3rd.
It's Sammy Joe then, who we can see outside, and you can see the ghost mode here, so we can see exactly where our drivers are on the stage. Fantastic start for Sammy Joe, but we know very quickly how it can all change.
Yeah, it seems like Sammy Joe is in control once again. He did in the semi-finals, but it seems like what caught him off guard last time was the change in pace across the different rallies that cost him the win at Germany. But he does very well so far at the start of Portugal, right around that tree. That worked very well, but Nexel right behind.
What characterises Rally Portugal is what you can see here. Wide gravel roads, plenty of room for the drivers to find the optimum line, and that is what they are searching for here.
Definitely is flowing one. You need to maintain that bit of momentum, that speed you have. We got Dylan Noel currently in 4th. He said it already, got nothing to lose coming into this one. But he was kind of unlucky back then in 2019, not finishing a stage that threw him back massively. So you want to do that better this time, but can he do it? That's the big question.
Look how close it is between the guys in front, between Nexel and Sammy Joe. Actually, it's Nexel now ahead of Sammy Joe.
Yeah, it seems like he got the better of 3rd sector basically coming into it, and he took down Sammy Joe, but we also know that doesn't really matter. It's a long stage. We will have longer stages along the way as well. So if you're not in control right now, that's kind of fine.
Yeah, it is a long way to go. We do have 2 other stages for... Oh, little mistake there.
But he was catching the bump there quite well, using it as some kind of banking, basically, throwing the car around. And what I learned from the semi-final watching Sammy Joe is, like, no one is rotating the car as early as he does. There's minimal counter steering. He's really early with bringing the rear around, and it definitely pays off here in Portugal.
It absolutely does. We're seeing a great competition then. It's swapping hands, changing the lead constantly between Nexel and Sammy Joe right now.
He was dominating the entire season. Obviously, he's the only 7th gear driver, and there's everyone else racing for Race Clutch, the team winner in 2020, 2021. I think they even won 2019. So a team with a ton of experience, but Sami Joe himself, that's his first final. So the big question is, does experience from Nexel pay off? Is he calmer than Sami?
Well, maybe. I mean, he has done this numerous times now over the years. He is a regular in the esports final. Maybe he's just got that calmness, that experience may be helping here, but it is so close. Maybe too close to call right now.
Yeah, it's like even the program is kind of trying to catch up. Sami Joe right in front of Nexel, and we see how tight that is here in Portugal. The stages in WRC 9 really absolutely amazing. They put the drivers into a real challenge. And look, it's left, right, you never really can breathe slowly and just try to get back into your groove.
Yeah, Sami Joe now then ahead with the advantage here. Will that last? Let's see what Nexel can do now.
So Nexel trying to catch up a bit, but we also know that they both prefer different kind of corners, basically. We saw that happen now. It seems like Nexel got a better exit than Sami Joe. That might send him down to second, but no, Sami Joe still up front, but it's so close, and it really shows us what the grand final will be today.
Yeah, it is shaping up to be a great final, isn't it? We do have then advantage Nexel. On the times, advantage Sami Joe. It's just switching constantly, Rene. It's difficult to keep up with it right now.
It definitely is. There's nothing in between. 0.2 of a second between these two cars, and Isam Using and Dylan Noel kind of behind. They're not bad, don't get me wrong. They're not slow drivers at all, but what we're seeing here is the fight for being the dominant, the man in terms of esports WRC. Will it be the old reigning champion Nexel, or might there be a new star and a new name to be afraid of?
The young rising star then that is Sami Joe out there, of course, who has dominated throughout this season. But this, of course, is the 2020 final that we are looking at. Incredible pace by both of them, huge commitment.
Yeah, they were kind of cruising sometimes during the semi-final because they knew that they had this in the back, basically, not crashing the car, just bring it home. But now they have to be on point and they have to give their absolute best to make it up front. And it seems like for Sami Joe that works quite well. Look at how he's rotating. That's a bit far. I think he tapped the rear there onto the stone. Might lost a bit of time compared to Nexel. And now they're so close that we don't even get the ghosts in there.
No, we don't. They're pretty much odds on even right now. And there we go. And a little sigh of relief then from the drivers here, and you look at the times on the board, how close it is out there. It is, though, Nexel with that fastest time. My goodness, the first run through has been complete here at the esports final. If it's going to be like that for the next two, we need some oxygen tanks brought into commentary, I think, and for our finalists as well. It's so tight out there, but congratulations to Nexel, who has taken that win, but so super close between Sami Joe. You could see Nexel breathe a huge sigh of relief when that stage was completed. We do have two more to come, of course, and we're switching codes to tarmac next when we head to Japan, and then, of course, finishing on the gravel of New Zealand. So it is going to be another two stages for us. I think we're going to head over now very shortly to Ben Constanduris, who's going to chat to the winner of our first stage, Nexel.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bex. Nexel, incredibly close between yourself and Sami Joe. It really wasn't clear who was going to win that one at all.
Yeah, intense battle until the end was really awesome. I hope it will be like that until the end. It's so fun.
Is that really full-on 100% commitment, full limit?
Even more, I think.
There was times where it did feel like it was getting away from you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really hard to keep it like that. So, yeah, really hard and intense battle, yeah.
Intense, but it's a relatively short stage. You've got another short stage coming up and then a long one. Mm-hmm. Are you bringing everything that you've experienced over the last couple of years into this? Because you've been a winner and a loser in this the last few years.
Yeah, and tarmac, I prefer to drive on tarmac, so we'll see. I think I can deliver a good performance here, so we'll see.
For those that think you're just playing computer games, it's his physical stuff. You're panting.
Of course, yeah. It was to hold the force on the steering wheel. You don't think it's not forced, but it's a lot.
Yeah, and that's a very good point, because we are using completely different equipment to the last time we did an on-site final with the Fanatec equipment. Is that something you're more familiar with or less familiar with?
I'm familiar with. I have almost the same stuff at home, so
awesome.
not so incredible.
Yeah, you're not being thrown into something that's totally alien to you.
Exactly.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's only a part way through, I'm afraid.
I know.
And get yourself settled, and we'll go to the next race.
Thank you.
Wow, well, the relief there from Nexel. But as Ben said, you could see the kind of, the relief, the sweat. He's working hard behind the wheel, of course. And it is going to be an incredible next 2 stages that we see. Now, we are going to be heading to the tarmac of Rally Japan next. And for us on the World Rally Championship as well, Japan will mark the final round of the series in November. We're all looking forward to going there, of course. It is going to be a difficult, tough stage for our drivers, and they've only just had a few moments really to regroup themselves, zone themselves into a change surface now from gravel to tarmac, get themselves ready for what will be our second stage. What have you got to tell us about the stage that's coming up, René?
We heard already Nexel saying, okay, tarmac is more what I like. Obviously, he won the first stage, but the real question to me is that because he settled in quicker due to his experience of previously being here 3 times already, 2 times world champion, while Sami Joe probably a bit more on the nervous side, but he was very dominant before. So when does that kick in? Could it be on tarmac as well? Because he was really quick in Germany before doing that mistake. So I think we kind of have similar driver profiles going into this. That makes it really like a big showdown.
And let's not forget Noel and Isar Measing as well. We have these 2 competitors. They could pull some surprises here.
Especially since we see Nexel and Sami Joe always fighting. So the question is, when they do a mistake, both at the same time, maybe. We saw John Armstrong back then in his legendary rally when he rolled the car and nearly threw away his world title. It can always happen, and these guys are right behind. If there is a chance for them to climb the title, maybe even as an underdog, they will do it.
I'm sure they will. Okay, we are now ready to start our second stage here at the Esports WRC 2020 final. Let's get underway with Japan.
Throwing them right into the next challenge and tough one it is in Japan, and I really want to see who gets the better start. It's amusing. I know that he's the lovely bloke from the UK, right? He looks absolutely charming in front of the camera. It's also his first event, so not an easy one to get into with all these pros around him, but Safai does well, and he had a great start in Japan, currently leading, it seems, while he's dropping behind Dylan Noel now on the first kind of hairpin, and it's just always like getting the rhythm. Completely different rally, completely different surface.
Yeah, strong start. Obviously, we see Nexel now heading up. Everyone else then, Sami Joe, then Isar Measing, then Noel.
Let's see where the rest of the pack is. There is Isar Measing. He's a bit further down the road. I think Dylan had a small mistake. No, he's right behind. All right, he did not miss contact yet with the rest of the pack, as Isar Measing is right in front of him. Nexel currently in the lead, right behind there's Sami Joe, and as you can see on the gap's top left, it's basically the same. They copying each other every single turn, and that's a lot of turns until we make it to the finish.
Yeah, absolutely. And what differs, of course, from what we see on the tarmac stages here and on the gravel stages is the way you have to be so precise here on tarmac. It's so unforgiving. Where the gravel can give you a little give, certainly into corners, you can make a little mistake and get away with it. Here on tarmac, here within the game, you certainly cannot. It mirrors exactly what we see on WRC stages. They will get exactly the feeling for that, so they have to be super precise.
It's kind of trigger discipline here in Japan, and we see that with the inputs from Sami Joe, for example. Like, you want maximum traction, you want that car to really launch forward, but you also don't want to cause too much wheel spin, then maybe get a bit off. We see him going a bit wide, but he's just flinging the car right into the next corner, and that's what I said previously. He's just so good at rotating the rear of his car.
It is Sami Joe then out front at the moment. Again, it's a super close battle between Sami Joe and Nexel.
A bit more drifty around that turn compared to Nexel, who is a bit cleaner. And we know they kind of love cutting like all the rally drivers, right? They drop in the tire here and there into the ditch, use the banking of it. But it's also a risk that you take every single time. What if you caught a bump, the car's gone, balance is destroyed, and all of a sudden you spin out and really lose precious time?
You know, this could be commentators' curse. We haven't seen any big dramas yet so far. We're kind of 1.5 stages
you wouldn't call stage
to the
one
final.
Drama. Come
well,
on.
drama in terms of times and competition, but no one's made a major mistake out there yet, which is good to see.
That is true. That's the perspective of Nexel right in the cockpit of the 2 times world champion.
There on the side.
Yeah, that has cost a bit of time. Semi-Joe immediately getting away from him, and he wants to stay close because so far his gap was, what, 0.4 of a second? That's absolutely nothing.
It's tough on that hairpin, then up the hill, following Sammy Joe in front, who's just starting to edge away now in terms of time.
Dylan Noel now right behind is amusing, so it seems like on this battle, just like up the front, the shooting star is currently beating the driver with all the experience. Sneaky cut there, making sure that they got the least amount of meters to travel, basically, around the new hairpin in the forest. Absolutely lovely shot here.
Yeah, that was a
in the
nice
game.
slide around the hairpin from Eyes Amusing as well.
Oh, he was struggling there a bit. We saw that Noel got a bit more traction, kept more momentum going, but he didn't lose too much time. Up the front, still the same picture. It's basically Nexel being right behind Semi-Joe, waiting for that one mistake that brings it back up the front to maybe win the second out of the 3 stages. But he won't. There we go, Semi-Joe. No, actually, in terms of times.
Wow.
It's what? Look at that. It's basically the same now.
It's
0.4
incredible.
there.
A great one then, and a great win for Sammy Joe. I think we're looking at a world record. Almost a world record, apparently.
We nearly had that in the semi-finals already. I
Almost a
wouldn't be
world record.
surprised.
Well, it's incredible run through the tarmac stages of Rally Japan, and we will be finding out how our drivers are feeling after that one. Of course, they need to prepare for the very next stage, but we'll get some thoughts from a couple of our guys, especially, of course, the winner here, Sammy Joe. And that will be coming up very, very shortly indeed. So, Rene, tell me a little bit about, you know, we've been here across the day. Who has stood out for you as being the most cool, calm? Has it been Nexel?
No, it was definitely Greek man.
Okay, Greek
Can't
man,
argue
yeah.
about that. I think there's no one else that has his cappuccino while doing his stage. That man is just calm as himself.
He's famous on the esports circuit, he really is. Now, Ben Constanduras is in position, ready to talk to Sammy Joe. So let's head over to Ben.
Sammy, exactly what you needed to do on this stage to get yourself a stage victory and just fractionally be behind going into that final stage.
Yeah, that was very close. I made a slightly small mistake in the stage, but yeah, we'll see. The road is not in the end, and we'll see.
What amazes me about you is you seem so relaxed. Are you relaxed inside?
Definitely a lot, but yeah, it seems on the outside, yeah, but in the inside, it's not at all.
Let's talk about how you got involved in this, because presumably you've watched the guy behind me taking victories over the years. You've watched us online and then had the game, and tell us your journey to getting here to the finals.
I started in Gran Turismo.
Okay.
And done very good results, but there is an update and couldn't get much better points. So I switched off to WRC. I was playing when I was young, like WRC 4 or something. So I tried the weekly challenges. They told me that esports drivers were doing weekly challenges. And I started doing them, and the results were coming. And then I got an invitation from the team that I am in now, and started Esports WRC. So I can't believe that I'm here and fighting against a 2-time champion like Nexel.
Yeah, absolutely. And the transition from racing at home to racing here in Ypres.
Yeah, it changes, of course, the adrenaline and stuff. So yeah, we'll see that at the end of this stage, what's happened.
One more stage to go. Good luck.
Thank you
very much, Sammy Joe. And indeed, I'm going to just make my way over to the center of the stage now, because I want to chat about what's happening in a couple of weeks' time. This is very exciting for everyone in the world of esports, because we go into the 10th anniversary year of WRC games with WRC 10. And we've got a final coming up on WRC 10 in, 3 weeks' time, Sebastian? Just tell us about it.
Yes, exactly. We are here with WRC 9, but the new game will be released in a few weeks on the 2nd of September. And the next final, the 2021 final, will happen on WRC 10 in Greece. So that's exciting to have those 2 events just in 1 month.
It means you're very busy. What's new on WRC 10?
Yeah, a lot of things are on the anniversary mode, because the WRC Championship will celebrate the 50th anniversary in 2022. So we are bringing a lot of historical content, a lot of challenges for that, with all the historical drivers that have been champion in the championship from the first year, 1973, with the Alpine. So yeah, a lot of things on historical stuff, but improvements on the physics and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to see these players play the game in 1 month.
And of course, as the WRC calendar progresses, you guys have got to keep up with everything that's happening here. So new venues and new rallies?
Yeah, for sure. Estonia, Croatia. We are adding Greece as well. So all the new venues will be in the game. Not only new cars, but of course the calendar will be there as well.
And it does sound as though the next esports final for the 2021 final, is going to be quite an epic.
Yeah, because they will have the game just for maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, 10 days, something like that. We will maybe send them the game a bit earlier, just to train. But yeah, it will be exciting because they will discover new stages, all the new changes for the game, and at this level, we can see that the details are making the difference. So it's really, really exciting.
And now let's talk about the prizes that these guys are going to be winning, specifically thanks to Toyota Gazoo Racing, a GR Yaris. I think we're all jealous of who's going to win that.
Yeah, we are really, really lucky to have Toyota with us and to offer that beautiful and impressive car to the winner. So we don't know, maybe one guy will win 2 of these cars just in 1 month. We'll see.
And we've also got watches from TW Steel and professional simulators from Fanatec and Playseat. You've really got a great partnership going here.
Yeah. The partners are following us. That's a big chance that we have. Fanatec with the wheels, Playseat with the rigs. We have BenQ for the screens. We have Flex IT for the computer. So we have a very good pool of partners. Giving some really nice prices to the players. So we are lucky, really.
It's going to be tight. We've got one more stage left. I know you're nervous, so let's head back to backstage and enjoy the final stage. But before that, let's see how close it is with Bex Williams and the overall result after 2 stages.
Yeah, it is incredibly close. It is Nexel who is just heading off Sammy Joe at the moment, but look at the time difference between the drivers. It is minimal out there. Ismusing in 3rd, Noel in 4th. 1 more stage to go. Could it change everything for us here at the Esports WRC final? We are going to be heading to what is an absolutely iconic event. It is a proper drivers' rally. Rally New Zealand is loved the world over by many champions for its fast-flowing gravel stages. Look at the distance our drivers have to cover here, 22.04 kilometres. It's the longest stage of our final, and it is the final test they have to face. 95% gravel. There's a little bit of asphalt thrown in there as well, just to make things a little bit more tricky. René, I can't think of a better stage than Te Akau in New Zealand as our final decider here at the Esports final. It's going to be incredible.
We're basically tripling the distance that the drivers have to go for to get the win. We just saw the gap between 1st and 2nd, which kind of is basically bouncing into the ref limiter once and being a tad slow on the upshift. That's the time that's in between them. It's not about really taking an entire corner. No, it's every single detail of your driving. You might want to be a bit early in the corner. You might want to shift up the right moment. So it will be very interesting to see who's taking this one home, because I think we never had it as tight as here.
It's never been quite as tight in terms of time. For our drivers, we want them now to take a deep breath inside, try and calm the nerves ahead of this final stage. Let's get into it, René. Let's kickstart our final stage here at the Esports WRC final.
Back onto gravel. That means we're kind of leaning towards what Nexel was winning previously. So Nexel won stage 1, Sammy Joe won stage 2, and now it's all or nothing here in New Zealand.
Here we go.
Off the line, everyone seemed to have been gone.
Nice, amazing, great start again.
he seems to be really quick off the line, but then as soon as we head in the first corners, there's just this little gap between him and the absolute lead that is Semi Joe and Naxel so far. Once again, it is Semi, though, taking the lead early on.
It is a great start from Ice Music. He does drop down though. We're back to that battle between Sami Joe and Nexel out in front, but this is such a monster of a stage at 22 kilometres. Fast flowing, wide New Zealand stages, nice camber to maybe help the drivers get through the corners. This is an absolute classic.
Normally it would be kind of relaxed when you hear it. It looks very like holiday season, but I'm absolutely sure none of them is relaxed currently because that is high-speed chasing that we see. Hollywood is absolutely nothing compared to that here.
No, absolutely not. There's certainly no holiday mode out there right now. This is the final test of the 2020 Esports final. It's all or nothing. If you want the glory, you've got to have the guts to go for it right now.
Helicopter catching all four of our drivers. That's how close they are right now. So there's absolutely nothing between them. Every single mistake or a tap on those walls that let you not rotate the rear could cost you the championship. Through the gate worked for everyone, it seems. Dylan Noel, no problem there either. But it's a slightly bigger gap we see here now. The more fast segments the stage gets, the faster Semi Joe gets away.
No, absolutely. It's so incredible, isn't it, to see from a driver who has a limited amount of experience in terms of years, but he's obviously practicing a huge amount, putting in the hours behind the wheel to be able to deliver these times.
But behind many wheels, I mean, Semi Joe is also multiple times, I think, Lebanese champion in karting as well. So he got a ton of experience in terms of driving. And as he said, he's super young. There's so much in front of him in terms of a career. And he could kickstart his esports career with a big world title right here.
Well, this is what we saw before, wasn't it, with John Armstrong, our previous victor here at Esports. You know, normally John was behind the wheel and he's here competing in Ypres this weekend in the Junior WRC. He brought all that actual real experience to the simulator and he just excelled.
Look at that, basically Naxel and Semi Joe are one car right now. We can't see the goals because they're basically at the same position at the same time. So it is a very long stage, and after a long day, they went up early, they went to the semi-finals, they had practice and recce drives basically. The question is, are they still on the 100% and who can concentrate longer?
It is holding your concentration, a 22-kilometre stage. It is the longest, we've said it obviously in our final today, but you're absolutely right, Rene. Holding concentration, focus, not getting distracted, not letting the nerves come in now on this final test. That is crucial, and that is the view we have of our drivers right there, all focusing on the screens ahead of them, trying to zone out what's going on around them. Forget about the final, forget they're here at the Ypres Rally.
Just so interesting how it changes, right? If we look third-person perspective, which a lot of the drivers obviously using, they all got the rule set that they have to be in cockpit perspective. It looks kind of easy. I see so much of the stage, but they are right in there, in the car, not seeing anything but besides a ton of trees and walls, basically.
It is a great stage, though, to round out our esports final. I really can't hit that home enough, how much Rally New Zealand is loved around the world. And you can certainly see why. Look how much road they have to use here. It's so flowing, it's beautiful to watch. It's great for them to just dance in and out of these corners.
Yeah, it seems like Dylan Noel took down his teammate, Isam Using, and that's also another story, right? They're all from Race Clutch besides Semi Joe, so he's basically going up against an army of a team, but he has Greekman on his team. That's probably the best mental and motivational support you can have on such an event. As that guy is always calm, got the right phrase to go into a championship, and let's see if it pays off for Semi Joe.
And we do have a change of weather condition here as well. We did start in dry conditions here on this stage just to add that extra element, that extra level of difficulty for our drivers. It has now started to rain, meaning that surface will get slippery out there for them.
Yeah, it's not just that it gets slippery, also the visibility is really low, right? Look at this. You're going through a stage, it's still kind of fine. It's the beginning of the storm, but it will get worse with every single kilometer they're doing. And that kind of makes it a messy thing. So who can adapt first to the new weather conditions?
Well, we'll find out right now. It is Sami Joe who is very much holding his own out in front, but but Nexel is not too far behind. Still a good way to go yet, though, in this stage, Rene.
Yeah, Sammy Joe went a bit on the outside there, nearly threw the car away, but he lose the banking, kind of like Nesca, I would say, in an oval. Shot out of the hairpin. He's still in control of this race, and after winning 12 out of the 13 rallies to actually get onto the esports final, you want to make sure that you also win the last stage.
I mean, it's fantastic to see how they're placing the car and heading into the corner. Sammy Joe getting, just a little bit maybe too wide there, but really getting the optimum line straight into the corner, which is obviously benefiting him in terms of time. He's able to get those precious tenths of seconds ahead of Nexel.
Yeah, he's really dropping the tyres here. Sammy Joe always using the banking, going on to two tyres. Yeah, that is very risky right now. There's nothing between him and Nexel, and a minimal mistake will cost him the championship. He could be the new young shooting star, 15 years old, going up against a 2-time world champion, and he could make this his absolute best day of his life now.
Yeah, it really could, couldn't it? But let's focus here. We still have precious kilometers left to go on the final test here of our Esports WRC final. The 2020 final playing out in torrential rain now across the Te Akau stage of Rally New Zealand.
Yeah, I hope you've got your raincoat with you, because that's now really getting ugly out there. You see that's a ton of rain, really slippery, muddy as well. Right, luckily there are no sponsors that we have to show on these cars, and no one has to polish them right after. But you have to stay concentrated, and with that visibility being lower and lower, it's not easy. I mean, look at this.
Dirty rally cars are the best, Rene. That means they've had some fun out there, right?
I mean, I always say that about my cars when they're dirty, but no one's buying the story.
Let's take a look then at the time difference and look at it between Sammy Joe and Nexel. It's barely anything at all.
Yeah, Nexel right behind, but Sammy Joe was leading most of the stage so far, and can he stay ahead? 0.059, that was the gap going into the last stage, and that's what's between coming second or being the new world champion.
Tight gaps, remember, going into this one between Sammy Joe and Nexel across their scores from 2 stages so far. This is our final test.
Also really interesting down 3rd and 4th. Isa Musing and Dylan Noel are still fighting. These guys got their own little fight, and I'm so sorry that we obviously don't show that often, but they are giving their best. They are in a great lap so far in terms of... Lap is obviously totally wrong in the great stage in terms of timing, what I wanted to say. And no, that was Isa Musing doing a mistake.
Oh, it's a roll.
I basically cursed that one.
Over end for Isa Musing. But we needed a bit of drama, and he delivered it. Unfortunate, though, that it has happened right there and then.
I mean, he told me about the plan of at least having the biggest highlight moment of the show. He might grab the right there with a beautiful barrel roll, but this is not gymnastics. It's not the Olympics, right? It's about rallying.
It is about rallying. Did we see a bit of a moment back there as well, just behind? For Nexel.
Currently checking Nexel where
yeah, I think Nexel's had a moment here. You need to check that. Look at the time differences now.
Yeah, there's a big gap between these two now. I think we can't even get them on the aerial cam. No, we don't, and that actually would be...
I could see a big kind of two-wheel moment potentially. I don't know whether it was a roll for Nexel. I just glanced out of screen, but it was a mistake there.
It's already flashing the lights. Does he know? Because obviously the drivers, they can turn on and off the ghost, but they see the times, they can see the checkpoints basically, and it's that Sammy Joe celebrating big job there.
Now this is where it gets difficult. We see switch surfaces here onto asphalt in that rain, very difficult, but you know, he has clear road in front, he's got clear road behind, because the rest are nowhere to be seen right now. Sammy Joe is out in front in a big way.
Yeah, Nexel didn't do any mistakes in the semis, but as he said, he was not on 100% because they didn't want to get too exhausted during the semis, but Sammy Joe had his mistake in the semis. Maybe that's the way to go. Do it there, don't do it in the grand final. And it seems to pay up, at least for now, but there are a few kilometers left before we can really celebrate the big world champion.
Yeah, incredible stuff then. Big drama on the final stage for us here at the final. conditions just getting worse and worse, but Sammy Joe keeping it clean right now, and he still needs to do that, you know? There's nothing to celebrate yet. He's not reached the flying finish of this stage.
Like with the weather right now and all the trees left and right, I'm kind of afraid a T-Rex is coming around. Looks a bit like the old setting of Jurassic Park, so let's hope there are no animals coming to hurting our drivers, but Sammy Joe is on his best way to become world champion, youngest world champion. That was a bit wide, but look at the gap, still 6.5 seconds around that, so he should be able to just manage that. Calm down once again, breathe in, breathe out, and just bring back that calm one piece.
So difficult though to remain calm at this moment. He knows he is just less than minutes away now from what could be the ultimate glory in esports. It's difficult, he has to keep that concentration though.
He's doing it so well. Look how he's rotating in the car, and we see that. I can see his steering wheel input from here, right? He's rarely counter-steering twice. Like, there's the input going into the corner, and then there's one around. That was a bit sketchy into the hairpin, I think. Shot a bit wide, but it still worked out, and the finish should be close now. We're closing into 11 minutes, and that's the last
12:29 is the
second.
record. 12:29 the record for the stage. Could we even beat that?
We probably could, I would say. He's going away. There's still 1 sector to go, roughly around 11 into this. So let's see if that is enough or not. But it's looking good for him, and it's just a few corners compared to what he had to endure during the entire season and the entire day today.
Everyone still so focused now with just the closing kilometers left of the final stage here. Sammy Joe needs to keep that composure, which he's done so well so far. Huge maturity for a competitor of such a young age.
Two-time champion Naxel now obviously all out. There's nothing for him to lose. He got a gap to Noel and Isamusing, but he wants to take down Sammy Joe, and the only thing he can do now is going absolutely aggressive. Do not care about what might happen or what rolls the car. Just fire it away and try to be as quick as possible.
Brilliant to see this performance here on the final stage. I mean, he's just setting up the car so beautifully here.
Oh, there's Sammy Joe, basically around the hairpin there. On the other side, we saw the ghost, and Naxel might saw it as well, but the question is, Sammy Joe down to 5 seconds now, so Naxel was quicker. Is there any chance that the young Lebanese driver might lose the car and brings Naxel back into contention for this championship?
Ooh, I don't know, but we need to keep ourselves poised. We are in the closing sector of this stage now.
Getting so tight in between. I mean, kinda New Zealand is a wider rally, right? We've got way more space than on some of the rallies we raced today, but they have those moments where you really need to be on point and exact, and there he goes over the line, and it should turn Sammy Joe into a world champion with just 15 years old.
Well, that is an incredible result for Sammy Joe. Already he is celebrating, and it is well deserved. What a performance across the day today, and across, of course, our final 3 stages here in the esports final. My goodness, what a thriller it has been yet again.
Yeah, his teammate Garima was the first one to celebrate with him, and we see how relaxed he is now. What a final we had here. Isamusing, unfortunately, still driving, still on the stage, wants to bring this to a good end, but after that flip, that just hurt so much, and the car is obviously a bit better. Reverse into the finish. We
are moments away from that flying finish. There are the red boards, and he's through. Isamusing, you have entertained us. I know it hasn't gone quite your way, but wow, what a final. Congratulations to all the competitors, but to Sammy Joe, who is our Esports WRC champion for 2020. Wow, Rene.
Being ice cold with just 15 years old, coming here, sitting right next to Naxel as well. He can see his direct opponent, and he's just bringing it home, making everything absolutely correct. That looks like a great, great outlook for an awesome career.
We're going to take a look at some replays now while we wait for a quick interview with Sammy, giving him time to compose himself. So this is a little bit earlier on, then you can see just Sammy Joe just in front there. Naxel exceptionally close to him and overtaking him. So you can see how close it was during a second section of the stage. But then it was a mistake that we saw coming through from Naxel. We're going to take a look at that replay now. We'll have that on the screen for you very, very shortly. I tell you what, the atmosphere here in the arena is just incredible right now. But there is the mistake. You can see Nexel in the background as the ghost car there, just up onto the banking and onto the back wheels, and that's where, unfortunately, it went wrong at that moment. But a brilliant competition, guys. Well done to all of you. You really have entertained us thoroughly this year. And, of course, I know it's been a difficult year for everyone. I think we're going to head out now into the arena and to Ben Constanduris and see if we can get some words out of our new champion.
Incredible emotion down here from Sammy Joe, from Greek Man, his team manager, attacking you there with tears in his eye, in your eye. This means a lot to you.
Yeah, for me, it's a dream come true. Can't believe it, man. I can't believe what's happening. I'm telling myself now, am I dreaming? So I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. I don't have words now.
When we started this journey for you, could you possibly imagine to get to a position where you can get invited to a WRC event and then win and beat a two-time champion?
No, I couldn't believe it. Like I said to you earlier, I can't believe that I'm competing against Nexel, who is very experienced and very consistent and very fast. So yeah, it was amazing to fight against him. To fight against him with the gaps between those two stages, 0.059, so it's incredible. GG to him.
That feeling will come when those keys are handed over to you. Yaris, you can't even drive yet on the real world.
Yeah, I'm only 15, so maybe in Lebanon. We got the license at 18, so I'm gonna... Yeah. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do.
I think your dad looks really happy though, because I think he's got a car for himself down there. Congratulations, and just a word on Nexel, because obviously an incredible world champion for us on WRC Esports, and put you under so much pressure.
Yeah, as you saw in those two stages, we pushed each other very, very hard to get to this gold, and. Yeah, I'm really happy for it. You can't imagine how happy I am.
We'll get you on the podium in just a second. I'm just going to switch myself round on my knees very gracefully over to Nexel. You've tasted that top of the step of the podium 2 times before, Nexel, but today just a little error crept in.
Yeah, a little mistake that cost almost everything, so a bit disappointed, of course, as it was a really intense battle with Sammy, and disappointed, that's all.
He really did put you under incredible pressure. Maybe the most pressure you've felt in one of these competitions over the years?
I think so, yeah, it was incredible.
Every single corner, every single cut, having to take the maximum commitment.
Yeah, the best I could do, really couldn't do more.
You've got to reset yourself, because I know that you're invited to Greece for the next final, for 2021. And that's on a different platform. How tough is that going to be?
Yeah, it will be different because it's a new game. It will be on WRC 10, so we need to adapt our driving style and everything. So we'll see who will be the best against Sammy, maybe.
It really is ripping up the form book and starting again. Congratulations, absolute legends. What a competition. Congratulations. Bex, over to you with the official classification.
Thank you very much, Ben. Great interviews there with Sammy Joe and, of course, Nexel. So Sammy Joe then confirmed as our winner here and our champion. Second, Nexel, then Noel, and Eyes Amusing in 4th position. What a competition we have had. It has been pretty incredible to watch. As Nexel said, it was intense out there. You could certainly feel that from the atmosphere here in the arena, the drivers, their response when things were happening out there. We saw mistakes, but we also saw incredible driving. Okay, we are now going to start with our podium celebrations for our winners here. So let's head back to Ben.
So then, in 3rd position for France, Dylan Noel. In 2nd position, representing France, Laurent Blanc, Nexel. And your 2020 World Final winner is Sammy Joe Abi-Nakel. Congratulations to all of our top three, and a shout out to Isa Musing as well in 4th position. Let's get the awards. Firstly, to 3rd position, a TW Steel watch presented by Sebastian Waxing from Big Ben and Nacon to our 3rd position driver. Remember, this is 3rd position out of 15,000 competitors, so might be just 4 in here today, but so many more not even getting a chance to come here. In 2nd position, then, Loan Blanc getting a full high-range simulator thanks to Playseat, Funatech, and represented by Ben Q. Those awesome curved screens that you've seen being used today. And our esports manager for WRC, Mark de Jong, will present not the keys, but the representation of the keys for this Toyota GR Yaris to your 2020 World Champion, Sammy Joe.
Well done.
So much happiness in the arena, so much support for the very few people that were allowed to come along, and one last award, this incredible trophy that we've had made for our winner. And again, Mark de Jong will present that trophy to our brand new world champion, Sammy Joe. That's going to look great on the mantelpiece, if you can get it back on the plane. Sammy, why don't you come down and have a look at your car? I'm not sure this is exactly your car, but it's kind of similar to your car. Go and have a look. Go and have a look. It is open.
It's closed.
Oh, who locked it? It's been locked. Sorry. Come a bit forward. It will open when you're 18 years old. Until then, your dad's got the keys, and he's keeping them away from you. Right, let's get a quick interview then. Over here with Dylan Noel. I mean, these two are a class above the rest, aren't they, Dylan? Just come forward a little bit.
Yeah, sorry.
They just incredible pace from them.
Yeah, they were incredible. I knew the 3rd place will be decided between me and Isa Musing. When the final starts, I did not believe it because I had the simulation equivalent of no power steering. There were no force feedback, so for me it was lost. But I don't know. I found the rhythm and the rest just to be close enough to wait for him to unfortunately do a mistake. But I'm really happy and a bit emotive to be on the podium. I missed last time.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, well, I'm really happy now.
Just talk about the commitment that it takes every single year for you to get into a position to be invited and then to be in these finals.
It's really exhaustive. This year, for example, we had rounds every 2 weeks. So 1 week to rest. On my side, I had my studies. I had my, I don't know the word in English, but a big paper that you do at the end of your studies. I had Rally Star too. I haven't finished. I'm planning to qualify now, as I have more time. And yeah, it takes a lot of work, and I'm once again really happy to be here.
So you're hoping to use this esports experience as a platform, like we saw with John Armstrong, into a real car in the future?
Yeah, for sure. That's why I started this. I just want to show my skills, and then, hey, I'm here. If you have a car, come and give me. I can do what I can. I will see what I can do. I mean, with this car.
You get a chance, like I do, to come to WRC Greece and compete again.
Exactly.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Okay.
Right, let's go over to Bex Williams.
Thank you very much, Ben. Fantastic to hear from everyone. And wow, the emotion that we saw there from Sammy Joe on the top step of the podium. It gave me goosebumps, Renee. I felt a bit emotional myself.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good to see a new winner. Kind of sad that we didn't saw the hat trick from Naxel. He deserved it, that's for sure. But he did the mistake in the end. It was down to Sammy Joe just making sure that in the grand final he was on point, so he deserves it. And I said, he's so young. He probably came here as like, hey, they're the big boys next to me, kind of. Maybe next season, which is in basically a month's time, kind of.
In 1 month's time,
yeah, it's like, I
we'll
could
have
do
that
it.
final.
But no, he won here. He absolutely deserved it, and it showcased, because we're here every single year, how much better it gets every single year. I don't know how that works and how it's improving every time, but I absolutely love it.
I love it, and it does get better every year, you're right. And the next final, we have the 2021 final, will be in 1 month's time at Rally Greece. And then, of course, we'll see the drivers using WRC 10, which will be the brand new release. They will get a little bit earlier because they will have to train, of course, and I can imagine the hours upon hours of training that they will do on that. But for our final, here this weekend in 2020, I love the intensity, and I love, the preparations everyone does for it. It means so much to them, and that was visible on the podium. But WRC 10 is going to be another step up in terms of gaming, Rennie.
New carts for everyone when we head over to Greece, and we will see the same lineup, kind of. Not, there obviously more, they're 10 finalists when we head over to Greece, but it's great to see that there's a new chance every year, every season. Now, it's just a month, but it will give us maybe even a new star. Who knows? Semi-Joe came into this as a shooting star, the new guy on the grid. Maybe there's another one out there for Greece.
Maybe there is a new star to have in esports. Well, we'll find out when we get to Greece. From myself and Renee, it's goodbye for now. Let's head back then to Ben Constanduris.
Another champion crowned in our 5th anniversary year. It's fantastic to have also an emerging nation like Lebanon being represented at the very highest level, both in esports and in real-world motorsport. And that's courtesy of that man, Sami Joe. We're going to see him again. We're going to see all these guys again in a couple of weeks' time for the 2021 final on a brand new game, WRC 10. And if you want to experience that before you see the final, make sure you get down to your shops and get your pre-orders in. And then, of course, the Esports Championship for 2022 will kick off. It's all very, very exciting. Thank you so much for joining us here in Ypres. And until Greece, bye-bye for now.